What's up, everybody? I'm Mr. Dunlow. If I'm not your normal English teacher, the reason why you're seeing me is because the teachers from PA all put our heads together to figure out the best way to deliver to you guys what the city is calling emergency learning for the next couple weeks. So everybody in PA is doing the same assignments. You'll still have the individualized support of your teacher, but to make it easier for everybody, we've all created the same folder and we have our documents in actually the same places on our Schoology. So basically for emergency learning, step one, to find this video, you already had to open a folder called PAMS English 8 Emergency Learning Week 1. All right. And then step one was to watch the video. So I still put it on the left side, even though it's kind of like, I don't know, you're already doing step one, but it felt like you start with step one, so I still typed it anyway. So just like don't close the video now. That would be a weird thing to do once you've already started watching it though. All right, so that's step one. And you can kind of, if you want, do the other steps while I'm going through, or you can just watch it. The cool thing about all of this is, and they use a really nerdy Englishy word in the explanation to call it asynchronous learning. That just means that the stuff is not synchronized. So you're going to see that class schedule, and that's a cool schedule for you to have to follow to sort of, if you want to work at that pace, that's fine. But the cool thing about all of this is you can view everything at your own pace and ask your teachers questions. So you can do this while you're watching this video if you want, or you can just watch the video first and then go back and do it. All right, so step two, you're going to open what's called the HyperDoc. That says when I hover over it, the whole title is HyperDoc with Learning, Assignment, and Submission Link. Basically, this document is where you're going to, like, if you, like I always, when I was a student, would ask the teachers, like, what do we do? This document is where the what do you do is. I recommend, I tell my kids this, anytime you have a doc like that in Schoology, you're always going to want to full screen it. Mine is loading kind of slow because I'm recording this at the time when everybody is hitting Schoology really, really hard. And so sometimes there's just those slowdowns. So if that happens to you, we just wait patiently. If you get past the patience point where it's a reasonable pace, just email your teacher. All right, so as you go through this doc, step three, you're going to check out the Explore, Explain, and Engage sections at your own pace. This week's assignment is about figurative language. We were actually talking during our teacher meeting, and we were like, our kids crush on figurative language, so this will be awesome that we're doing this. All right, so in the Engage section, there's a refresher video you can watch. As it says, dust off the cobwebs. Get it? Because that's like an idiom. Boom, shh. English teacher jokes. All right, and it is cool because I know we've been really writing focused back in March, so it's cool to get back to this. In the Explore section, we gave you a couple songs to listen to and read to keep up with like figurative language and find that within music. There's a lot of good ones. I recommend Firework by Katy Perry is another good one. I'm not really sure what she means by the simile, like, do you ever feel like a plastic bag? But I feel like I've felt that way before. I don't know. It's probably because it's the plastic bag floating and that's the imagery or something. I don't know. I know I'm a firework though. All right, so then in the Explain section, there's a Nearpod that goes through all the terms of figurative language. That might be a good review to check out. And then in the Apply section, so now we're at step 4 on my left side, or I guess beneath me in the instructions. All right, in the Apply section, here's what we're actually going to do to check out and analyze figurative language. So there's some examples with a Prezi of analyzing figurative language in a song I'm not very good at singing because the high notes are there. And then really big here in all caps, click here to create the doc you will turn in this week. So if you're asking yourself, all right, I've been clicking through all these sections, where do I actually do things? This is where you do the doing. So you open this, and it should pop right up in your tab. I'm in Google Chrome. So it should do, your computer should behave exactly as mine's behaving right now. All right, so it says copy document. Would you like to make a copy of PAMS EL Week 1 song lyrics analysis? And you click, yes, you would. So you've made your own copy of your document once it stops spinning and actually works. What I'll tell you, if you haven't worked exactly in this way before, because I know my kids, a lot of times we do it as a Schoology assignment where it makes your own copy, and those are visible in my drive. Right now, you have made a copy in your drive. Your teacher does not own this copy yet. We'll talk in a second about how your teacher is going to get access to it, but just make sure when you finish the work, like stick with me for all the steps of this video because we're going to talk about how to turn it in too. All right, so in this document, what you do, it says use this doc to paste in your song lyrics. So if we go back here, the assignment was find a song that you want to use to analyze. The lyrics must be clean. Now, what I tell my kids when we've done song lyrics analysis before, just bleeping out a couple words does not make it clean. Like, we want it to be thematically clean. Like, if it's a song about things occurring up in the club or whatever, that's what they said back in like 2003 when 50 Cent was out. I don't know what you guys call it now. Y'all aren't old enough to go to the club, so we don't want to read about the club. There's a lot of other things. I mean, I'm not discriminating against any particular genre of music. Like, there's a lot of country songs about like people doing adult things down like a dirt road with stuff that y'all are not old enough to go buy from 7-Eleven yet. So I'm saying, like, when we say keep it clean, like, keep it actually clean, y'all. Like, don't just bleep out a couple words. Your teachers don't. If you would not say this out loud to whoever your English teacher is, don't paste in the Google Doc. Or if you would say it out loud trying to be funny, reconsider your humor strategy. All right, so anyway, here's what you're actually doing. Step 1 says analysis. Paste your song lyrics below, underneath this little color coding right here, but above the solid line. And it says all this here, I'm just reading it to you. So title and artist, let's say I were doing Firework by Katy Perry. Then in the lyrics, and you don't have to type them from memory, but you would write, do you ever feel... I'm not really going to sing it. But you would just find your lyrics and just paste them in there. Now, what I would double check, though, like for real, if I were you, I'd go back and make sure that song doesn't have any unclean language in it. Because I'm not sure with Katy Perry all the time. You got to look out for her sometimes. All right, so anyway, here's what you're doing. When you have your lyrics in here, right? So let's say I did do the Katy Perry song. It says, do you ever feel like a plastic bag? All right, and then whatever it says, floating in wind. But I know already, all right, feeling like a plastic bag, yeah, it uses like. Y'all know that's a simile. That's what's up. And so I'd highlight it in this color. See how simile is this like teal or turquoise? Cyan? Is that a color? I know cayenne's a pepper. Whatever color that is, all right, you would highlight like a plastic bag in simile. If you had a metaphor, you'd highlight it in yellow, whatever. We made up, and it says all this right here, we didn't list every term ever because not every song has every literary element. So you might have to add alliteration. You might have to add onomatopoeia, like whatever. There's a lot of onomatopoeia in music as well. I enjoy onomatopoeia. Boom! Let's go. Let's keep going. All right. So once you do that, once you've gone through, and there's not a specific number, I would say don't be lazy, but don't pick apart like every single word. But get as much digging in as you can into the literary analysis, right? So then, once you have analyzed that, if you go back here and you go to the reflect section, it says beneath your song lyrics in the same document, answer these 3 questions. These questions are also in the document themselves, right? And so these reflection questions are, what's one thing that stood out for you while reading the lyrics to the song Hall of Fame? Was it easy to find songs or poems with figurative language? Were some obstacles you had? And then is there anything else you're confused about? That's your point where you ask us a question if you want to know something about figurative language. All right, so now you have done the work. Stick with me because step 6 is important here. All right? In the section that says share, and you can tell the large things in all caps, like this one up here, are important where you created your doc. This one's important too. Click here to access a Google form to submit your work by pasting, by pasting in an editable link. I deleted the word link at first. I don't know why I did that. I got excited. All right. So you click here to access a Google form to submit your work in an editable link. That word's way easier to type than it is to say. So if I go back to my document here, I want to go up. Here's how you get a link that you can edit. The reason why you want it to edit is your teachers can leave feedback in the document if they choose to do it that way. All right. You click here. You click Get Shareable Link. But you're not done, even though it says link copy to clipboard. Clipboard. You need to go right here, and you need to go triangle. Anyone at VB Public Schools with the link can edit. Click that, and then it says link sharing updated. I'm not sure if it recopies the link, so I always click copy link. I always do it like 2 or 3 times. I don't know. That's just me, though. Then I click done. All right, and so then when I go here, I choose my teacher. I would say I'm in Miss Cash's class. Let's say I'm in Cash A1. All teachers should be listed here. Cash, Chassis, Dunlap, Hanby, Smith, and Timothy. You get Cash A1. If you have Miss Price with Hanby for English, we just put Hanby on there. All right, A1. Then your first name. I'm going to put fake last name, student. Actually, I'll turn fake student into my class, so Miss Cash doesn't have to go delete it. I'll be the one that's delete. I paste in my editable link. If you see me looking up like this, it's because that's where my second monitor is. I paste in my editable link, and then I go right here to this purple button, and I click submit. And then at this point, once it says your response has been recorded, then your teacher has your work. You only submit another response. So if we go back here, there is one more section. This is number 7 beneath me in the instructions. Check out the extend section for additional cool stuff on the topic. There's Maya Angelou in here. Maya Angelou is awesome. That's cool. I was an English major, so I nerd out about poetry. And you can just do like other cool stuff about figurative language. So the school is going to release the schedule and all that, but here's how you actually do the work for your English 8 class. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you just want to tell me who your favorite Ninja Turtle is and why. I will also accept that sort of answer. All right. Thanks for listening. See ya.